I've been looking at NFL schedules over the weekend, and there was one thought that came to my mind when looking at the Dallas Cowboys schedule for this upcoming season. And that thought was, Dak Prescott better quit fucking around and sign the contract that Jerry and Stephen Jones have waiting for him on the table. Here's a little brief synopsis of what's going on right now with Dak and the Cowboys in this contract. He basically has one of two options. He could sign the franchise tag, which would pay him a little over $31 million for next season, and he would go into 2020 in a contract year. Or he could sign the contract. It's 5 years, rumored to pay him $35 million a season with $106 million guaranteed. The problem between Dak and Dallas is rumored to be the length of the contract. Dak wants 4 years. Dallas wants 5. And for a while, I believed that to be the case, that the length was the issue. But I'm beginning to think that it's deeper than that. Here's the thing. The length of the contract is irrelevant because Dak's never going to see the final year of the deal anyway. If he plays well, then he's going to push the Cowboys for an extension, more money. If he sucks ass, once the guaranteed money's paid out, Dallas will cut him. So the length of the contract really doesn't matter. I think Dak is holding out because he knows the new CBA will go into effect in 2021. And he would be eligible to make even more money than what the Cowboys are offering him right now. And to me, that is a very risky move on Dak's part for a couple of reasons. Number one, we don't know if NFL games will have fans in attendance come September. Now, I think they will, but we don't know that. If that's the case, if fans aren't allowed to attend games, the salary cap could be lower in 2021 than it is for the 2020 season. Second, I think $35 million is the maximum amount of money the Cowboys are willing to pay Dak or any other quarterback, and I don't really think they're comfortable paying that. Dak could be wanting to wait until next year to see what guys like Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson get from the Chiefs and the Ravens. But I don't think it matters. I don't think Dallas is willing to pay anything more than what they're offering. Listen to what Stephen Jones said the other day about paying quarterbacks. Quote, "There's all sorts of analytics out there that show if your quarterback takes up too big a percentage of your salary cap, that it decreases your chances to win." End quote. I've said that on this channel numerous times. Russell Wilson is the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Is he worth the money? You can't argue the fact that he's earned it. He's won a Super Bowl. The Seahawks are contenders every year. However, there is a price that goes along with committing that much of your cap to one player. Now, what did it cost Seattle? It cost them their defense. The Seahawks have had the number one defense 4 times in the Pete Carroll era. The worst defense in the Carroll era was in his first season. They were atrocious defensively, but after that 2010 season, the lowest ranked Seahawks defense has been 13th. Most years, they're top 5, top 10. 2019 was the first year of Russell Wilson's big contract, and the Seahawks had the 22nd ranked defense. There is a reason guys like Drew Brees and Tom Brady take less money. For years with the Saints, Drew Brees wanted those big money deals until he came to the realization that he needed help around him. The Saints were trotting out the worst defenses in league history year after year. 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. After 3 straight 7-9 seasons, Drew Brees realized, I got to take less money so the team can pay other players. And as a result, the Saints have won the NFC South 3 years in a row, and they're Super Bowl contenders. So Stephen Jones is absolutely right. Paying your quarterback these exorbitant salaries is detrimental to the team. Of the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks last year, half of them didn't make the playoffs. Not to mention the fact that Dak Prescott hasn't earned the kind of money that the Cowboys are offering him. I don't remember Dak leading the Cowboys to the Super Bowl. Hell, I don't remember Dak leading the Cowboys to an NFC Championship game. What I do remember is Dak leading the Cowboys to 8-8 last year, failing to win the NFC East, the worst division in the NFL. I think it's going to be worse in Dallas in 2020. I think the Cowboys are actually going to regress this year. Here's what I think is going to happen. Dak is going to sign the franchise tag instead of signing the long-term contract, which is going to end up being a huge mistake on Dak Prescott's part. Because I think after the 2020 season, he could be out of Dallas altogether if he doesn't sign this long-term deal. By signing the franchise tag, the issue of Dak's contract, his future, is going to be a distraction all season long. The Cowboys are already in the national spotlight without any lingering drama. Dak's contract will be fuel to the media fire. With every loss, that media fire will get hotter and hotter. And believe me, there are going to be plenty of opportunities for the Cowboys to lose games this season. I think Dallas is going to be 1-3 after the first 4 weeks of the season. Open up at the Rams, loss. Home against the Falcons, think they'll win that game. Travel to Seattle, loss. Home against the Browns. I think Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns go into Dallas and win that game. I got the Cowboys at 3-5 at the halfway point of the season. I think they beat the Giants at home, turn around, lose to Arizona, beat the Redskins, and go on the road to Philadelphia and lose to Carson Wentz and the Eagles. At this point, halfway point of the season, Cowboys 3-5, the pressure begins to ramp up. The questions begin. Should Andy Dalton be starting instead of Dak Prescott? What's the future of Dak in Dallas? Are the Cowboys going to move on from Dak after this season? I see things getting worse as the season progresses because the month of November into early December is a brutal stretch of games for the Cowboys. Pittsburgh comes to town, loss. Travel to Minnesota to play Kirk Cousins and the Vikings, loss. Beat the Redskins in Dallas, travel to Baltimore, and lose to the Baltimore Ravens. That's right, if you're doing the math, I've got the Dallas Cowboys sitting at 4-8 entering the final 4 games of the year. At this point, I think they're out of the playoff picture. I think they'll finish the season 6-10. They'll beat the Bungles, lose to the Niners, and split between the Eagles and the Giants. I think they'll beat Philly at home, but lose to the Giants on the road to end the season. I know some of you Cowboys fans are probably sitting there thinking that me having Dallas finish the season 6-10 is outrageous. There's no way that'll happen. But if you really think about it, it's really not that far-fetched. If Dak signs the franchise tag instead of the long-term deal, it is going to be a distraction all season in Dallas. And what is Mike McCarthy, new head coach, supposed to think? If I were him and Dak turned down the long-term deal, especially paying him $35 million a year, and signed the franchise tag instead, I would be questioning his long-term commitment to the team. Usually players are pissed off when they're tagged. Dak has no reason to be pissed off because Dallas has a deal on the table to make him one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. He's just refusing to sign it. The longer this drags on, the worse it's going to get. Like I said earlier, I don't think the length of the contract is the issue here. I think Dak wants to wait until next year so he can make even more money than he's being offered now, which is a risky move, like I said, that I think will backfire on him. This is a weird situation right now in Dallas. I can't remember a time where a, quote, franchise quarterback, and I use that term loosely with Dak Prescott because I don't look at him as a franchise quarterback. But I can't remember a time a franchise quarterback has actually turned down this kind of money from their team because of the length of the contract. I can't remember it ever happening. If you guys know of this happening before, let me know in the comments below. But I can't think of another case like this. Now, if Dak ends up signing the contract by July, then all of this is a moot point. But even if he signs the contract, I still think Dallas is going to struggle this season. With the schedule that they have, I don't see them making the playoffs whether or not Dak signs the contract or not. All right, that's all for today. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button for me. Click the notification bell to receive all updates from the channel. I appreciate those of you that have already done so. Leave me a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about Dak and the Cowboys. Do you think he will sign the franchise tag or the contract offered to him by the team? Do you see the Cowboys missing the playoffs this year? Let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I will see you guys next time.